So we're going to Rusty. Okay.
Swear not to die, you holy Son of God. You make a bargain that you cannot keep. The Son of Life cannot be killed. He is immortal as his Father. What he is cannot be changed. He is the only thing in all the universe that must be one. What seems eternal, all will have an end. The stars will disappear. The night and day will be no more. All things that come and go, the tides, the season, and the lives of men, all things that change with time and bloom and fade will not return. Where time has set an end is not where the eternal is. God's Son can never change by what men made of him. He will be as he was and as he is, for time appointed not his destiny, nor set the hour of his birth and death. Forgiveness will not change him. Yet time waits upon forgiveness, that the things of time may disappear because they have no use.
Because we need time. Do you remember when he was talking about time? The reason why forgiveness will end time is forgiveness ends the need to punish guilt. We need time to punish guilt. So we're caught in time as long as we believe in ideas of guilt and in the fact that it needs punishment. Forgiveness is therefore the end of time.
That's still immediacy of salvation.
Mm-hmm.
We think forgiveness takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's uncomfortable to read though when it says he is the only thing in all this universe. We're not going to have flowers anymore and everything that blooms and fades. And I don't know. I felt a real sense of loss at first. I'm like, swear not to die. I'm going, oh, this is what Earl always says, you know. Finally, I found it, and then I'm like.
Yeah, that's because we
I have
are invested in being bodies in this world, because it's what right now our consciousness is only aware of. He talks about where we're going is so much more than this. He says, I can't even talk about it. It's so much. You wouldn't understand it. And so we either trust that he's guiding us into a better place or get, so it's supposed to be better. Now, I don't think it means it's not beautiful. It's just what you think is eternal is really they're images. There's another reality that it's eternal. That might still be made up of images, but you're not mistaking the images for reality anymore. Here, we're mistaking this for reality.
Is that another thing of, like, it feels a loss because I don't know it?
Yeah, because you're thinking this is all there is, and so if you lose this, then what is there?
I think that's that deep sense of loss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you think it's about someone or something out there, and you keep hanging on that.
That'll complete you. This thing out here is going to make that's exactly what brings us back here. We keep thinking there's something outside of ourselves, and we're going to be doing the next section of Seek Not Outside Yourself that's going to complete us. We don't realize the kingdom's within. So we're constantly searching in an imaginary world for completion and failing, because everything kind of doesn't work out usually.
Everything that shows up as beautiful fades and won't return.
Now I've heard there are, let's say, people who died and come back to life and stuff, that they still see flowers and stuff like this, but they're like incredibly more beautiful and more vibrant and incredible. So I don't know if that's.
There is a place in the Course I was kind of looking for and I couldn't find it, where it says, every flower that's ever bloomed has saved its perfume for you. It's like the perceptions of beauty will continue. The beauty will continue, but the fade part, the death part, won't.
Yeah, so I don't think we're losing anything. But, well, in fact, he told us the only thing that we need to sacrifice is danger, destruction, sin and death, madness, murder, grief, and loss. So it's just that he says, don't The reason why we don't want to get fixated on this world as something really valuable or not valuable, we want to make it a nothing, is because we're attached to something that appears to give us completion outside of ourselves, and it's keeping us stuck.
It's not to be attached to anything.
Yeah. He's not saying we're not going to go someplace magnificent. I mean, the idea of heaven is supposed to be happy. And I think most heavenly pictures have flowers in them, so maybe they're just better flowers. I don't know.
Or in the holy instant, there aren't flowers, or
Yeah,
you're just there, it just is.
And apparently, the ego's perception of beauty is completely false. It's not real beauty at all. So,
Because it'll fade.
yeah, it's all temporary, and it's not the essence of what we think we see. And when we get beyond...
It's a tiny
the ego-
hint, and that's why he says, these are tiny hints of the kinds of experiences you can have. So it's not negating that there's something there. It's just so minuscule compared to what we're entitled to in our real identity. So we're moving on.
Well, how Valerie explained it to me was when we were walking through the woods and we saw a cardinal in the tree, and I was saying how beautiful a cardinal is, and she said, it's not about the cardinal. It's the essence of beauty in your mind that sees that beauty. It's
So
not the
that makes
cardinal
sense.
itself.
That makes sense, so that when we get into a more heavenly state of mind, then the things we see are going to be more vibrantly beautiful, because they're going to reflect more of our awareness of the beauty that exists in us, right? So maybe the flowers are a little brighter up when you're in the more heavenly state of mind, when you're outside of the dream.
C.S. Lewis had a hint of this idea in his book, The Great Divorce. He describes somebody going into heaven and not really being able to see what heaven is all about because he's still in a worldly mind.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe that's true perception,
Seeing
Seeing
when
through.
it seems brighter and.
Yes.
We
It would have to
still
be
see
perception.
that, but once we go, what is it, the last judgment, or?
Yeah, and remember he says you're going to have light episodes as you do the course. You're going to see light around things. So that means a little more vibrant, a little more life, because you're reflecting more of an understanding, I guess.
Who was the artist that, he painted beautiful sunsets and magnificent nature scenes, and a student said, well, I never see any sunsets the way that you see them, that you paint, and he said, but don't you wish you could? And I can't remember the artist though, but it's a, yeah, and
Well, I had a friend that was in art class. She was the one I was studying the course with. They had a picture of Jesus there, and one person was talking about how he looked like he was suffering and in pain, and she said, yeah, but that's how you see it. That isn't how I see it. So it's in the eyes of the beholder how you see.
Yeah, that's kind of a course thought too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of a major theme running through this book. We're trying to get our perceptions right because it's in the eyes of the beholder.